Folks, we're really excited to have you on this call today. We are going to go over some things. I'll let Dan cover that, but just to briefly explain, like we're all one big happy team here. This is what we tell each other when we're on this webinar. No, it's kidding. I love you guys. Really glad to have the agents here with us, right? This is my favorite thing that we do all week because I'm in this industry and I love what it is that I do because I get to work with the independent insurance agent every single day, right? So the chance to do this on a webinar where we get to interact directly with you all is my favorite thing that I do all week. So very big welcome to you. Glad to have you here. And we're going to talk about this. You're going to hear all of us say it several times. Post your questions because this is webinar format. You can't come off mute and say anything, but we absolutely take your questions live, read them out so that everybody can hear them, get you your answers. This is meant to be an interactive format, and that's what we love too. That's why we're here today. So very big welcome to y'all.
Awesome. And my name is Annalise, and I work in broker and customer success here at MGT Insurance. So if you or any of your policyholders have any questions or concerns, you can get in contact with us. I'll share our email and our phone support. So you can save that for any future needs.
And I'm Dan, MC today and National Sales Manager here at MGT. Super excited to be connected with everybody today. And, Jason and I kind of have a little back and forth in these webinars where he'll try and ask me questions that stump me, and I will try and say something so cheesy that he just breaks. So stay tuned and see who wins today.
I love it.
And I'll share my screen and get this kicked off. So I have got this pulled up to our dashboard. This is what you'll see when you log into mgtinsurance.com. And it does exactly what you would expect a dashboard to do. This is where you can start a quote, and you can also manage the quotes that you and your team have been working on and manage the policies that you bound with us as well. Before we jump into the fun part of quoting, a quick detour here to show you some of the self-service features that are available both to you and your team and to the policyholder, because we really want to empower everybody involved in the life cycle of this policy to stay up to date with it, understand what their coverage is, and what is available to them. So we'll click View Self-Service to jump in. In this page, there's a lot of functionality. You can update and track payments. You can file and track claims. And here in the Document Center is one section I always like to highlight because it is just packed with great information. Say you bind an account with us, and 2 weeks later, you get a call from the policyholder. They never got their receipt. They're just checking to make sure policy is still active. 2 clicks will get you to this page in the website. You can confirm, yes, that policy is active. You can also see a full record of all the communications we've ever sent out on this policy. And you can tell them really down to the second when we sent out that receipt. You can download the full policy jacket. You can create certificates, download deck pages. So you've got a lot of great information right at your fingertips. And then one other thing I always like to highlight, it's probably not a game-changing feature, but I think this really actually is kind of a nutshell story of how MGT improves the insurance experience for everybody. If you have ever had to change a mailing address, that is an endorsement that does not change the risk at all. And I have seen those in previous roles sometimes take 6 months to go through the pipeline of the processing and endorsement team. With MGT, again, 2 clicks will get you to this page. Put in the new mailing address and click Save Changes and go on to the next thing on your to-do list. So let's jump into the fun part. We'll click on the name in the upper right-hand corner to go back into the dashboard, and then we'll get started on a quote. Now, this class of business selector here, this is actually bringing a lot of value to the quote process on its own. This is a great way to do a quick appetite check. So for example, maybe you're working with a roofer, type that in. We also have some keyword search built in. So when you type in a related term, it'll find relevant class codes. And when you select that contractor specialty trades code, it'll just tell you right out this is not going to fit in our business owners program. So you found out in 2 seconds, and then you can move on to plan B, plan C, etc. So let's just load in an accountant. You'll see a class of business description right here, just an opportunity to check in, make sure that's accurately describing the risk in their operations. And then you can enter in the primary location address.
Hey, Dan, what would you say is generally like the amount of classes that we have open? Do you have any advice to the agents on like, hey, you're showing a CPA, but what kind of stuff can MGT write?
Really good question. So we support about 225 classes of business, and that's really going to be a fairly broad appetite amongst professional and medical offices. We do a lot of retail store classes, wholesalers and distributors, businesses like barbershops, beauty parlors, nail salons, bakeries, grocery stores, convenience stores. I could talk all afternoon about our appetite, but this is a great way to check and find an answer very quickly. And then also the contact information that is available to you in the chat. Please always feel welcome to reach out to us, and we're happy to talk through a risk with you as well. So now that we've got the address entered, we'll click go to start the quote process. You'll see a street view image of the location, just an opportunity to validate the risk, make sure we've got the right address, double check the parking lot, sidewalk, all looks good. No dynamite factories next door. Siding looks good. We know what type of roof they've got now. And then we'll ask some questions to start clarifying the coverage on the risk. And this page is actually a huge time saver to you as well. So in Richmond, Virginia, we're about 200 miles inland. We are not really considered coastal. Say you were quoting a business in a coastal area or some area we have restrictions on. If you say yes, there is building coverage here, we'll tell you right there when you've spent 3 seconds on the quote about any restrictions based on that location. So, again, if that's a deal breaker, hey, at least you know before you've really put in a lot of work into the submission, and then you can go on to plan B. Another thing that comes up pretty frequently is when we are covering the actual building, we're not a great fit for mixed use exposures or mixed occupancies. Because that comes up so frequently, we wanted to put that right up front in the quoting process. So again, if you say yes, it'll just let you know, no drama, just not an appetite for us. We would still, though, for coastal risks or mixed occupancy buildings, we would still be able to do business personal property. If maybe you're a tenant in a strip mall, that would still fit with us. So don't let that discourage you. If they don't own any buildings, then we'll ask if there are condo units so that we can load in the improvements and betterments and, not flag the account for referral when it has $15,000 building limits on it. So once we've got all these couple questions answered, we'll click continue. But I'm not going to make you all watch me type in all the answers as we go along. Let me put up a little TV magic here, and I'll just pick this quote up that's already complete right out of the oven. So quoting with MGT is just 4 steps. In step 1, we'll enter in some basic information about the business. We've got the description of the operations and their address pre-filling from that last page. We'll enter in the name, the phone number, the gross sales. We're a great fit for businesses up to 3 million in receipts for most classes, and then we'll write up to 5 million in receipts for office risks. We'll get some information about the business owner, and then you can add any additional locations here, up to a total of 3 additional or 4 overall locations. We'll click continue to go into the next page. And this page is where we can set the effective date. We'll share a little bit more information about the business and about their insurance history. And then we'll click continue again. And we're all done with step 1. In step 2, we'll start to define the scale and the scope of their operations. We'll answer a handful of eligibility questions. This particular quote is for a grocery store. There are 7 entire eligibility questions for that class of business. And really, that's about as long as you'll ever see this section get. Some classes might have as few as 4 questions. So this is pretty lightweight, something you could easily accomplish just in a phone conversation with a prospect.
Hey, Dan, there's a question on there. Can insurance asking about events, special events? Can you talk a little bit about MGT's appetite for that?
Yeah, great question. So we ask for that not to determine whether the risk itself is eligible with MGT, but because we're able to include some special events coverage on their BOP so that you don't have to go find a standalone special events coverage. But wait, there's more. If they're serving alcohol at one of their events, we can include some host liquor liability as well.
Nice, thank you.
So didn't quite make Jason break, but don't worry, I got more arrows in the quiver for you, Jason.
Keep them coming, man.
So section 3 is where we'll start to answer some building questions. And a very quick tip I will share with everyone on this webinar. You've taken some time for us, so I'm going to save you some time on future submissions. I see this happen almost every day. Someone will come in and that first page, they'll say, yes, we need building limits. And by the time they make it here to page 3, turns out it's actually a rental unit. We don't need building limits after all. Good news, you do not have to restart your submission. All you have to do is in this top drop-down box, select that, click into business personal property only. That'll take the building info out, and then you can just proceed with your quote with BPP only. From here, it's pretty straightforward underwriting. How big is it? What's it made out of? When was it built? And what's the roof look like? We do have a built-in replacement cost estimate as well. And this is really here for your convenience. We're taking some of the information we've collected about the risk, calculating out the price to replace it per square foot, calculating out the replacement cost from there. But you're not locked into this value either. You can put in whatever number feels right here. However, quick heads up, if it is too far outside of the allowed variance, that may refer. And then we just want to see a replacement cost valuation to make sure we're rating it correctly. From there, just add any BPP limits that are needed. You can add any additional buildings and then click continue. And in this next page, you can add any additional insureds that need to be added. Then we'll click continue again. And we're all done now with step 3. At this point, we've asked all the underwriting and eligibility questions. All that's left is the fun part, adding in some optional coverages. And so we'll click on that. And the list of optional coverages is actually populating based on that class of business. So you'll only see coverages that are available. We've got spoilage coverage loaded up for grocery stores, very important for them to carry. That's not a big concern, though, for a nail salon, so you just won't see it when you're quoting one of those. But you will see some professional liability available, which is not a big concern for grocery stores, which is why it's not on this list. So once we've got our additional coverages added, we'll click continue. There will be a couple underwriting questions to confirm that it's eligible, set limits when we need to do that. And then we'll click continue again. And now we've got everything answered. So we can click see your quote. And when you see this little circle start to spin in the middle of the screen, that's really where the magic happens. Behind the scenes, it's running a lot of different checks, it's scoring, it's geolocating the risk, it's data mining some different sources we've got. And we have got a quote back in seconds, where you might be waiting on a traditional underwriter for days or weeks to return terms back to you. So we are direct bill, and we've got pricing available in quarterly installments or annual payments. For annual payments, there is a little bit of a discount for those, and it will tell you exactly what that is. And then the rest of this page probably looks like something everyone on this call has seen a million times. We're just setting our different deductibles and sublimits. One thing I really like is we can tailor these optional additional coverages. Not everybody needs outdoor sign coverage. Some people need a significant amount of protection for that. So you can really dial it in to the actual risk of that business owner. We can opt out of TRIA if we want to save a few bucks. We can waive their right of subrogation if we need to do that. I always like to highlight this included coverages section as well. This is just a great kind of educational resource. These coverages are written into the BOP form, so you can't change them. But if you have someone in front of you who wants to know, how does MGT cover business interruption? You can look here at extra expense and loss of income. You can tell them it's covered for 12 months on an actual loss sustained basis. Then we'll click continue again. And then you'll see in this page, all those boxes now are grayed out, so we can't edit them. This is what we would consider to be the current version of the quote. You can click print quote to turn this into a nice little PDF that you can send out as part of your proposal. If you did need to make changes, you could just click previous to go back to the last page. And then once they're ready to move forward, just click confirm and purchase. And in this next page, we're able to either send a payment link over to the prospect, or we can collect their payment here. We've just found over the years that not everybody likes to share their credit card information over the phone. And we always include some cyber liability with our BOPs. So we appreciate those people very, very much. Thank them for protecting our loss ratios. To send the payment link, all you have to do is confirm their email address, click send to prospect. And when they get that, it will just take them into this purchase now page. From here, it is pretty straightforward. Just select annual or quarterly payments, e-check, credit, or debit. And I always like to highlight here, we do not charge any payment fees no matter how they choose to pay. Enter in the payment information. Auto pay is automatically selected. If you're working with someone who doesn't want auto pay for one reason or another, you can always deselect it, but definitely does help retention. So I like to keep it on when we can. And then we've got the information, just confirm their email address, agree that they are allowed to purchase the policy. You'll see a link here for print my application. You are able to print the application. That's also retained in that document center that we saw a couple minutes ago. But MGT does not require signed apps to bind, so you could keep that for your records, but don't let it hold you back. Once everything's entered here, just click submit payment. And as soon as that payment goes through, you'll get a nice little pop-up box. Thank you for binding this policy with MGT. We appreciate the opportunity to protect your business. We will instantly bind and issue it. So you'll have access to that document center where you can download the certificate, download the deck page. If you've got a lender or landlord who needs proof of insurance, shoot it over to them, move on to that next thing on your to-do list. And, I think this shows how we can make it easy, not just for quoting. I mean, quoting's super important. It's great. A lot of really easy quoting systems out there, but we really extend that ease of doing business, that speed, that access, that empowerment through the entire life cycle of the policy.
Awesome, Dan. We had a quick question. How can we make changes to a policy after it's been bound?
Very good question. So we are actually working on a couple features now to kind of collect all the information we need to do most endorsements. In the meantime, the easiest way, actually use Annalise here as a resource. Reach out to her. Her contact info is in this chat. She can help you with midterm adjustments to policies. And then looks like we got another question asking if there are any current promotions, incentives, giveaways. And good news there is that yes, we've got a really great one in May. So the underlying premise of our May giveaway is that MGT helps save time, helps put time back into your week, into your day. So what do you do with all that extra time? We hope you do something that you love to do. And so to enable that, 3 lucky winners this month will receive a bespoke $500 gift box that we will put together for you based on whatever your current favorite hobby happens to be, whether it's golfing, aquarium keeping, writing, travel, hiking, home brewing, you name it, throw them at us. We love to hear them. Fishing, hunting, stand-up paddleboarding, one of my favorite hobbies. Whatever it is, we want to help you do that. And so to enter the May contest, bind one account with us. And then we will give you 2 May giveaway tickets for every quote that you run with us. I'm sorry, 1 ticket for every 2 quotes that you run with us this month. And then join us for this same webinar, same time, first week of June, and we will draw 3 winners live.
Dan, what do you think a good gift would be for somebody who just likes to watch Netflix as a hobby?
I think we could get you a really sweet TV for $500.
Okay, cool. You know, that's a little bit of a selfish question. Sometimes I'm missing out on gifts to buy for my spouse. So I need some help in that regard. Like 2 or 3 years. I think $500 to get you like 2 or 3 years of Netflix subscriptions, wouldn't
it? Just depends on if they raise the price on us some more.
Yeah, we can buy you some popcorn and snacks too, maybe. I don't know. Cool. Lots of really great questions today. Y'all, we're going to go ahead and start closing out. If you have any last ones to sneak in before we do, that would be great. Dan, great job today. I'm sorry, but neither of us won, I don't think. I didn't break you with a question. You didn't break me with a joke.
The immovable object versus the irresistible force.
Yeah, that's what they call us. Sure. Y'all, it was a pleasure having you here today. Thank you so much for showing up. And please reach out. Annalise has posted it in the chat a couple of times. We love to hear from you. Come back anytime, but mostly just come on in and work with the system. Ask us any questions, reach out, and we'll be glad to help you out. I hope that y'all have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you, folks.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great one.
See ya.
See you in the platform soon.